Hello, welcome once again to our tutorials on PHP with your instructor Danicom. In this short video of about 2 to 3 or 4 minutes, we are going to look at how to locate your PHP files and then run in a browser to see what you have coded in your HTML. All right. And so, as you know, PHP is a scripting language. It's a scripting, or let me say server-side language. Okay, the server language. And first and foremost, before you code in PHP, you must have a local server installed on your computer. Examples of local server, we have the WAMP, the XAMPP, the Laragon, and all those things. In this tutorial, we are using the Laragon for all our lessons. And so I know by now you all have your Laragon installed on your computer. So first and foremost, what you have to do is to open the Laragon. When you open the Laragon, you see we have the stop. If you have not started it, you see you have start all services here. But if you have started it, you can see we have stop. If this server goes off, your PHP files will not work. Okay, and so what you are supposed to do is anytime you want to run your code that you have done in PHP, you are supposed to make sure that one, your local server is on. What we are learning is it's almost the same thing as coding a program whilst you host it online. If you want to host a program online, you need one, a domain, two, a server or a web host to be able to display your work. At this point, we don't have enough resources to buy domain and then all those web hosting. We will be using our local machine to do all those hosting. So first, you need a local server. And so bear in mind that Laragon is one example of local service we have. Now, when you make sure that the service is started, you see that all the services will be running. Before you'll be able to display your work in a browser, follow this. First, go to your root. The root is where your folders are going to be kept. Okay, so inside this folder, if you want to get to this place, you can also go to this computer. You can go to this computer and go to your drive C, then locate Laragon. This is Laragon. You double click on it and then it will open for you inside of the www directory, this place. So if you look at it, this is where when you clicked on the Laragon, it took you to in the first place. When you click on the root, this is where the application brought you to. Your folder that you are going to use for all your projects or your PHP files has to be in the www directory or location before you will be able to see whatever you have done in a browser. It is not like that of the HTML. When you finish, you double click on it and you see it in a browser. So take note, anytime you make changes to your work, if your server, which is the local server, is off, you won't be able to see the effect unless you see or unless you make sure your server is on. Okay, now with this said, we are going to do a simple demonstration of how to display your files in a browser. So first, I'll create a new folder here. Okay, I'll create a new folder here. And then after creating the folder, I'll rename it. So, sorry, let me refresh. Okay, so I have the new folder. Oh, it has created twice. Let me delete. So I'll create a new folder and then I'll rename that one as PHP underscore tutorials. Okay, now after creating the folder, I'll first and foremost have to go and open that folder in my VS Code editor. Okay, VS Code editor. So everything you are doing is going to be in that of your VS Code editor. So as usual, what you have to do is locate the folder and open that particular folder. Okay, so I'll just click on it. I'll locate my folder from the www directory, which is inside of the Laragon. Okay, which is inside of the Laragon. So I'll double click on the Laragon, www. and then select that of the PHP tutorials. Okay, and select that folder. Now, everything that I am going to be doing is going to be inside of that folder. Okay, so this is the PHP tutorials folder that has been opened. Yes, I trust the source. Now I can create a file inside of this folder and say index dot. Instead of HTML, you are supposed to go by dot .php because now we are coding in PHP. So index.php like this. So if you can see, the icon of this PHP file is different from that of when we were doing .html files. Okay. All right, so let's continue. We will just write a simple code and display it in the browser, and then we'll end this particular session. So first and foremost, like you have been doing for your HTML, you can just press your shift and then the exclamation mark to get the structure of the HTML. Remember, it's HTML, PHP, I mean, database that we are combining. So you can be coding HTML codes inside of your PHP as well. Okay, but, but they are a little bit different. So you have to pay attention very well whenever you are doing this. So now I can say my first PHP code. Okay, I can say my first PHP code. All right. Now, when I finish, I want to see how it will look like. For me to be able to see how this work will look, I have to quickly go to my Laragon or my local server, which is here, and then go to web. Go to web. When you go to web, all the applications you have designed or all the systems you have built using PHP will come here. But your attention should be on the one we are currently doing, which is this one, PHP tutorials. You click on it, and then you will see that PHP tutorials will open. And the title, as we mentioned, was what? My first PHP code. Now look at this. If we shut the server down, like for instance, we stop it, this program will not work. It will tell you that server cannot be reached. So let's see. For instance, let's go to the www directory, try to open it and see. So you see, once the server is down, it will not work. So the idea is anytime you want to run your application server must be on. So you start the services, you go to web, wait, it's still starting. So you start the services, and once they are running, you go to web, you click on it, and then now you have your application loaded. Now that it's loaded, you go to the one that you are building. This is it. Thank you for watching up to this stage. I want to make the video short so you'll be able to follow through. And so see you in our next video.